Let's hope. I hope two girls kiss this time. And
Whoa.
what do you mean, whoa?
I'm gonna finish eating. My dog's crying too. Say hi.
Give her a bite.
Say hi, licorice.
Oh my god. Licorice, are you excited for Yuri?
Are you excited, licorice?
Homophobia?
Hmm.
Don't call my dog
Hmm.
homophobic, Sierra. You're one to talk.
I don't know, man.
Oh my god. Okay. Hopefully, the it's a better in this one. I'm hoping there's not as much world building as the last game. That was a lot. But will they tell us if she girl? That's the real question. New game. Orca layout. Part 1. The Hole. Right. Liu Shan conjured an image in her mind. A white cruise ship sailing across the vast ocean, its bow slicing through the waves, creating a melodious roar of water. Flocks of seagulls glided on the current, slowly drawing near. Guess we're going on a cruise. After the rain, the sun shone brightly, baking the deck that had been washed by night's storm. Passengers awakened from the tempest of the previous night, now embarking on a new day of life aboard the ship. Oh, we get a close-up of the guy. Look at him.
Let me see. Oh,
Little seagull. He's looking at us. Suddenly
he's judging us.
He is. What does he know?
Too much.
Do I have poker chips? The top right corner. Does it look like a poker chip to you?
Let me see this. It
Look at
looks
that.
like it, yeah.
Oh my god, do we get to gamble? Please.
I would love to be able to gamble.
If there's gambling in this, I need to buy the game.
Immediately, right now.
Oh my god. Suddenly the leader among the seagulls issued a piercing cry, seemingly beckoning its companions to keep pace. The surrounding seagulls, stirred by the urgency of their leader's call, swiftly converged, curious about the new discovery that prompted such an eager summons. We're really focusing on these seagulls.
Do you like seagulls, man?
I guess. Seems that the original vessel was methodically disposing of its compressed scraps and remnants into the sea, attracting a multitude of fish that followed the enticing scent. This in turn allowed the seagulls to indulge in a lavish feast merely by following the ship's wake. Oh, ominous music now. Oh no, that's the boat. The crescendo of their call summoned an ever-increasing flock of seabirds. Even the passengers aboard the cruise were drawn to the scene, reminiscent of a landscape painting, eagerly taking out their cameras to capture the moment. Well, they're flying. Amid the clamorous passengers and squabbling seabirds, the cruise ship's immense smokestacks languidly exhaled thin wisps of smoke that painted the skies bright and the ocean calm. The translation's pretty good so far.
It sounds like it, yeah. Better than last game.
Yeah. Hopefully that gets fixed.
Shouldn't the full release, I imagine.
I hope so. Liu Zhan recalled the teachings of her psychology professor on how to steady turbulent emotions. Envision a safe, stable sanctuary in your mind. But limit yourself to 3 seconds. The ticking time bomb in front of you, your necrotic finger, or the footsteps outside the door could at any moment be your escort to meet Jimmy.
Who's
Huh?
Jimmy?
We got like very nice like Chinese name and then Jimmy.
The Jesus.
I don't know. I hope no one else has a like English name except for Jimmy. I think
He's
that'd
the one
be
who
really
gets
fun.
it.
That's just Jimmy, man. You know.
Your best friend Jimmy, don't you know?
No one in the classroom knew that Jimmy was actually the teacher's favorite musician.
Okay.
Okay. However, his mention was followed by a laugh that sounded eerily like a howler monkey, sending the entire class into uproarious laughter.
The fuck?
This laughter now seemed to float above the cruise ship, mingling with the tendrils of smoke. Liu Shan felt her tension dissolve completely. This laugh is just that funny, I guess.
I guess.
1、2、3。
Oh, it's voice acted. Alright, 1, 2, 3. What are we looking at? Liu Shan counted 3 seconds, and her vision, which had been missing for so long, finally returned home. She could see the familiar ceiling above her, but her body remained paralyzed, unable to move, not even her eyes. She got, like, sleep paralysis?
Guess so.
Probably, I guess.
Suddenly, Liu Shan heard a distant sound. Liu felt as if her ears had been pricked by needles, becoming abnormally sensitive. They picked up a ticking sound, growing closer and more rapid. It's a bomb!
A bomb! Oh my god.
my god!
The game just explodes.
在下雨，而且很大。
It was raining and heavily so. I didn't expect a sniff sound effect.
They gotta get you in the moment.
Yeah, I gotta be fully immersed. Liu tried to sniff, and her belated sense of smell tinged with the scent of blood instantly jolted her brain. Blood? Uh-oh. This also made her desperately want to regain the last sense, not under her control. Liu furrowed her brow, straining to recover her sense of touch. Her efforts soon paid off. She felt herself propped against something soft, with the sensation of sweat-soaked skin against her back. Then, struggling, Liu managed to lift her right hand to touch her chest, feeling fabric soaked with some kind of liquid. Uh-oh. By now, she almost understood her condition, but the scene she pictured hinted at imminent danger. She wanted to control her body, to at least be able to lower her head to survey her surroundings, but to no avail. The vast ocean, the cruise liner, and once more sunlight made its appearance. Liu inhaled deeply, the pungent, acrid smell of blood flooding his nostril. The pronoun's wrong there.
Yeah.
Prompting every muscle in his body to tense as if recoiling from the odor, though it also made them easier for Liu to command.
好，
Good. Oh, there's the blood stain.
Oh.
You
I don't think it's that bad.
Yeah. I don't see a body, so
It's true.
maybe they're fine. Whoever
They're
that
probably fine.
was. Or that's ours. And that's a lot of blood. And Liu turned her head to survey her surroundings, the living room of her home dark because the lights were off. What? Despite the gloom, it was clear that the usually orderly furniture had been tossed about as if a typhoon had ripped through the area. Oh, there's a lot of blood on our shirt. I don't think that's good. Liu looked down and saw her white shirt violently torn open, stained with a red liquid that eerily resembled the gaping maw of a great white shark. Slipping her hand inside, she found her bra still in place, though its front clasp had been ripped apart. It was as if someone had used a sharp blade to viciously split her chest open, causing blood to splatter everywhere. Jesus.
That is wild. What the
Yeah.
What the fuck? Okay.
Yet her chest bore not a single scratch. Liu momentarily set aside her doubts, pushed herself up from the couch, and immediately heard a thick, dripping sound behind her. Guys, I'm scared. She walked a few steps, then turned back to see a blood-red cascade draped over the sofa where she had just been seated. The most vivid stain was exactly where her back had rested.
如果有人从正面捅穿我的胸口，
If someone had
然后
stabbed
向
through my
下切
chest from
开
the，front and then made a
血迹
downward cut, the blood
就会
would
变
have
成
looked
现在这样。
just like this. How do you know that, Queen? Were you a detective, or...? However, she felt no discomfort whatsoever. In fact, she felt unusually strong, as if she could break the record for a 500-meter specialty obstacle course and maybe even toss a disagreeable superior 10 meters away with one hand. That's
Brother, I think
really
you got
specific.
stabbed. Yeah.
Queen, are you sure you're good in the head? Maybe you were hit in the head. But now was not the time for such thoughts. Liu noticed her close partner lying in front of the couch on the glass coffee table next to a spare magazine. Uh-oh. She stepped forward and picked it up. Is your partner okay? The silver handgun, named the Beethoven 1900, was developed in-house by the agency. It was the only gun she was permitted to carry off duty. Okay, so she probably is like a detective then.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
It fired 9mm rounds and held 8 in the magazine. Liu tilted the handgun, noticing the safety was off. She promptly engaged it, ejected the magazine, and saw from the cutaway that 6 rounds remained. Suspicious.
Just a little bit.
She couldn't recall having fired the gun recently. Her memories were mostly of concluding a 3-month-long mission yesterday and beginning her leave. After returning home, she had planned some rest, but then her recollection skipped to the present. She reinserted the magazine as it clicked into place. A roll of thunder echoed from outside. Oh! Suddenly, a flash of lightning illuminated the room. Liu widened her eyes, staring at her left palm. An oval-shaped black hole had appeared in the center, perfectly integrated with her skin, yet it disregarded the natural undulations of her muscles, remaining a smooth, flawless oval from every angle.
Weird.
伤口，还是什么东西贴在上面了？
Is it a wound or something else adhered to my skin? I don't know. Let's see. Give us a CG right now. You decide to slowly bend your thumb to touch the mysterious oval. Oh, there it is.
Oh.
Why are there numbers? Suddenly a swarm of tiny black monsters burst from a dark hole, writhing wildly in the palm of Liu's hand. They climbed her fingers, reached toward the base of her thumb, and then circled back. She slightly leaned back.
Were they numbers, the monsters?
I guess. I thought they were just like numbers.
Odd.
She slightly leaned back, yet her gaze remained locked and utterly captivated. The black monsters began to swirl around an oval center, evoking images of primitive cave paintings with simple lines depicting people engaged in eerie ritualistic dances around a campfire. Put it back on screen, I want to look at this. Gave me like 2 seconds with that image, and I thought it was numbers. I probably saw it wrong.
It looked like numbers.
Yeah.
I'll be right back. I'm gonna go grab some.
Okay.
Okay.
Liu's curiosity far outweighed her puzzlement as she watched, mesmerized by the spectacle. As the chaotic dance of the black line subsided, their movements became orderly. They bent and straightened, gradually taking shape into forms Liu could recognize. Now are they numbers? Soon the monsters settled into static patterns, transforming into simple lines. Liu slightly lowered her head and meticulously tracing the patterns that now adorned her hand.
个、十、百、千、万、亿，这是
Wait a minute.
咦？
Doesn't this match the number in my right corner? I think it does.
I think so, yeah.
Suspicious. The numbers that appeared in the center of her palm paused briefly before they rapidly trembled and retracted back into the dark oval. Leon unconsciously licked her lips, only then realizing they were cracked and bleeding. Oh. An overwhelming array of mysteries stacked up like a landslide in the fast lane of her thoughts, demanding she take a moment to methodically sift through them. However, before she could even divert her gaze from her palm, another clap of thunder resounded.
I'm so scared. I'm so scared.
A table! Oh my god. That freaked me out. I didn't want to see that. Liu's eyes widened as she fixed her gaze on a shadow lurking beneath the shattered glass coffee table, then abruptly turned her head. Wait, was there like a person-shaped shadow? I was just distracted by, like, why are we looking at a table?
There was a shadow, yeah.
Oops. I saw that. Oh! What the fuck is that?
I don't think it's a person.
The shadow outside seemed to retract to react to her stare, restoring to life. It bent forward, its jagged back rising ominously before it moved and shattered the glass. Okay, can we run? No! What is that? As the sinister shape entered the room, its back scraping the ceiling, Liu could see its skin cracked like drought-ridden earth. Raindrops fell upon it, absorbed instantly, yet they were far enough to moisten such a parched form. Along with this unusual figure, a horrendous stench invaded her home. It was a thick, putrid blend of rotting flesh and filth, so overpowering that Liu could almost hear flies buzzing around as if holding a gathering in her house. Stop daydreaming! I don't think you're daydreaming, Queen. First of all, it's night.
You're like, it's just regular dreaming.
Liu imagined a cruise ship breaking through a filthy sea toward dawn. Maybe we should be running and not imagining the damn cruise ship again. She's gonna die. We aren't gonna make it.
She loves the cruise ship. Don't be.
Damn! Okay. I thought you were just gonna sit there and imagine. I didn't expect the gun to go off. As she raised her gun and flicked off the safety, she fired 2 shots. The unique, melodious sound of the gunshots resonated like piano notes, soon followed by the thud of bullets lodging into a thick tree trunk. The monster, resembling deadwood, slowed its steps momentarily before collapsing onto the ground. Its drooping white filaments lightly touched the ground before it suddenly sprang up, its slender limbs rapidly propelling it towards Liu. Well, fuck, you pissed it off. Oh god. We're so dead. The hissing sound of rainwater being absorbed by its skin slightly stirred Liu's innate sense of fear, like the gentle flicker of a snake's tongue. You're gonna run out of bullets, Queen! I think we should just go! As Liu backed away, she fired her last 4 bullets. Swiftly, she pulled a spare magazine from her pocket and reloaded. But just as she chambered a new round, the monster caught up with her and knocked her to the ground, a suffocating stench enveloping her. We're fucked. It's over. But that was just gonna end with us dying. Struggling to flip herself over, she found the beast's weight too much to manage, trapping her firmly. Well, shit. The rumbling sound of the massive tree moving caused Liu Shan's head to ache. The dark deadwood monster split open its trunk, revealing a dark green diaphragm that writhed continuously. The previously limp white filaments now stood erect like dandelion stalks. Liu felt the monster grab her right arm, pulling her towards the gaping split. Her mind screamed with alarms, a red flash of danger. How are we gonna get out of this? Hell no! Real. Suddenly, a horror she had never felt in her 27 years surged over her like a flood, overwhelming her senses. Liu's right arm shrank rapidly inside her sleeve, her pink skin turning to ash as her muscles were gruesomely exposed. Oh my god. The smooth, orderly tissues contracted violently, resembling the limbs of a dead insect. She screamed in horror as an unknown red substance seeped out from her sleeve, quickly absorbed by the deadwood. Within seconds, only the white bones of her right arm remained. So, we've lost an arm.
And money.
Yeah. Oh shit! Well? Huh. Meanwhile, the deadwood's withered limbs flourished maliciously, sprouting pulsating black tissue like boiling mud. Reflexively, Liu raised her left hand to grab at the branches of the deadwood, noticing the black lines in her palm dancing wildly once again. This time the number was missing 1 digit. It had dropped by 2 million from the initial 1 billion. She had no time to consider what this meant, as every second was a luxury while the cruise ship teetered on the brink in the violent storm. Once again, Liu swung her left arm to retrieve the handgun that had dropped nearby. She swung it behind her back and rapidly fired 6 straight shots downward. Years of rigorous training had honed Liu's muscles to precision, enabling her to fire her gun without a tremor, even in dire situations, with each bullet striking nearly the same spot. After a series of sharp gunshots, one bullet finally pierced the body of the Deadwood and lodged into the ceiling. This seemed to destabilize the monster, momentarily lifting its body and giving Liu a chance to roll away to safety. Can we run now? Please. Quickly, she pushed off the ground with one hand, leveraging her solid core strength to flip back onto her feet. Once stable, Liu immediately checked her right arm. Maybe we run. It was unharmed, but the terrifying sensation she had experienced in the vigorous black flesh of the monster was stark evidence that her arm had temporarily vanished. What?
Huh. Okay.
So it was gone, but it... What, does it cost $2 million to grow an arm back? Is that how this works?
Oh, I guess.
Liu switched her emptied handgun to her right hand and glanced again at her left palm, where the numbers now read 96 million.
又少了一些。
So it's decreased again.
原来如
Oh.
此
So she lost money when she lost the arm, and then when the arm comes back, she lost more money. Huh. Gasping for breath, she temporarily set aside the scattering debris in her thoughts to concentrate on the monster before her. You think if we kill a monster, we get more money? Like an RPG?
Maybe. I'd assume.
I don't like the look of this thing. It's freaking me out. The Deadwood seemed enamored with the burgeoning black muscles on its body, swaying as though appreciating a fine wine, clearly not yet satisfied and poised to attack Liu again. But as it bent forward, it abruptly twisted and froze, facing the window. Liu glanced outside and noticed the rain was easing, soon to stop. The Deadwood seized the moment, flipped over, and crawled out the window into the night. Holding her breath, Liu tightened her grip on the handgun and slowly approached the window. She leaned against the wall and peeked outside. Hold up. The underbrush in the villa area was disheveled and scattered, with a trail leading off into the distance, so the rain stopped and the movement in the bushes ceased. Liu kept keyed up, her eyes fixed on the silent darkness until even the foul stench had completely disappeared. Only did she turn and lean against the wall.
要在下雨前查清楚是怎么回事。
I need to figure out what's going on before it rains again. So they only come when it rains.
Okay.
Okay. Maybe she should move to Arizona.
True. No rain at all.
I miss rain. I want rain. I think monsoon season's over. We barely had any rain.
I know.
The storm had subsided, and feeling slightly more at ease, Liu activated her phone's flashlight, hoping to uncover some clues in the living room that might explain the events during her memory gap. However, the recent scuffle had left only chaotic footprints on the floor, some resembling animal hooves or snake-like marks, likely just muddy stains left by an intruder who had entered during the rain. Realizing the urgency of the situation, she quickly pocketed her phone and headed into the bedroom. There were 2 wardrobes in the room. The left was filled with a variety of clothing reflecting recent fashion trends, and several uniquely patterned and material canes at the bottom. The right, when open, revealed an array of exclusively black garments resembling a bat cave in its stark uniformity. Huh. She's Batman?
Oh my goodness.
Liu didn't hesitate. She approached the right wardrobe and selected a bra, a shirt, and a trench coat.
开枪和玻璃被打碎的声音，应该被人注意到了。
Sounds of gunfire and shattering glass must have drawn attention.
现在先躲开警
I
察，
should avoid the
等他
police
们
for
走
now.
了再
Once
去保
they've
安室看
left,
监
I'll
控录
head
像，
to the
最好
security
能找
office
到
to
我
check
昏迷
the
那段时间的
surveillance
线索。
footage. Hopefully, it will reveal what happened while I was unconscious.
Unrealistic, the police wouldn't come.
Preach.
True. As Liu considered whether she should clean the bloodstained shirt and the sofa cover, she pulled out a drawer from under the bed, took it out completely, and then retrieved a briefcase hidden underneath. The case held all the essentials for her work. She took 2 spare magazines from the case and stashed them in the inner pockets of her coat, then refilled the emptied magazines with the remaining bullets. That was all the ammunition she had left.
如果现在要收拾现场的痕迹，那肯定来不及在警察到之前走。先不管了。
If I start cleaning up now, I won't have time to leave before the police arrive. I'll have to leave it.
还有手上这个莫名其妙冒出
Also,
来的
this
洞，
mysterious hole that
和
appeared
这
on my
些事
hand
情恐
seems
怕都有
connected to
关。
everything else.
现
I
在先
should
到白
visit
薇那去看看，他能
Byway
不
to
能查
see
出
if
点
he
什
can
么。
figure something out. The dressing table beside her bed was cluttered with cosmetics, some of which Liuzan couldn't even recall the use for, likely a side effect of being away on missions for too long. But there was no time to sort through them now. She grabbed the car keys from the dressing table, picked up the briefcase, and made her way to the garage. To the Batmobile! Stepping out of the room, Liu glanced at her phone to unlock it. I'm gonna start just treating her like Batman after that Batcave comment. After her old phone had been destroyed during a previous mission, her colleagues had persuaded her to buy this trendy new model, which she was still getting used to. She manually typed in Byway's number and pressed call, contemplating the years it would take to rebuild her emptied contact list. At exactly 2:20 a.m., she was about to hang up, not wanting to disturb Byway's sleep, but he picked up the phone just in time. Hello? You're back? Byway sounded energized, clearly not just woken from sleep.
昨天刚回来，
I got
电话
back
里先不说
yesterday.
那
We
些。
can talk details later.
你
Are
今
you on
天值晚
tonight?
班？
Yeah, what's up? They send you back without fixing you up?
我没事，
I'm
没受伤
fine, no injuries. I don't know, the weird hole in your hand might be considered an injury?
Very much is considered an injury.
Yeah. I know your arm came back, but I would consider losing your arm an injury, even though it somehow grew back.
Most unconcerned fucking person.
Byway's awkward concern helped blur the lingering fear inside Liu, replacing it gradually with a sense of security.
但我有事要找你，诊所忙吗？
But I need to see you. Is the clinic busy? Not busy. Come on over.
好，
Okay. Liu ended the call, pressed the garage door opener, and waited as the roll-up door began to rise, detecting a strange smell. The foul odor left by the monster was now more annoying as her adrenaline had subsided. She planned to grab the citrus-scented roll-on perfume from her car's storage box once inside. Just a quick shake and application on her wrists and behind her ears would allow the fragrance to rapidly evaporate with her body heat. As the garage door fully opened, Liu eagerly stepped into her black electric car, ready to drive through the quiet streets of the night. Ooh, she's in her Batmobile. Where's Robin?
Dead.
Oh, what the? What is all this? So do we just... I guess we'll unlock more locations. What's in the... This the cell? Ooh. Okay, so she's got a journal. Heading to the Byway private clinic for help. The moon is bright tonight, prompting me to restart my journal. I had been a diligent recorder since I first started 5 years ago, up until last month when I lost my old phone in an accident. The loss of so much data disheartened even me. Someone often called detached, and I had resolved to stop journaling. However, the fear and confusion stirred by tonight's events have compelled me to document them again. Whether transforming memories into confidence in me or reassure me that my experiences were not just nightmares, writing at least offers me, an avid reader, a chance to calm my mind. Bloodstains on the sofa, a black hole in my palm, blood writing in the air, foul-smelling dark wood, and an arm that withered and then instantly revived. Returning to my home in Egret City, after 3 months, I encountered a series of bizarre and supernatural events on my very first night back. Unsure how to handle these incidents, my immediate plan is to meet with Byway and have the anomaly in my palm examined at the hospital, hoping that the fortress of science and reason can help me confront this tide of mysteries and eeriness.
The fortress of science and reason.
These are my... Oh, we get a little summary of her character. My earliest memory is of a room in the orphanage, its walls adorned with wallpaper depicting blue skies and white clouds. There, I felt enveloped in warmth and love as I grew. When I was 14, an agency seeking children with straightforward backgrounds approached the orphanage, and I was chosen. My surname had been given by one of the orphanage's benefactors. Somehow, I felt it was my destiny to take on this job, whose details were still unclear to me, so without much reluctance, I decided to leave the orphanage and follow the agency, a path that has led me to where I am today. And unknown contact. This phone not only categorizes unsafe numbers as unknown, but can also do the same for some known ones, a feature I find exceptionally useful when I discovered it. I promptly used it to anonymize a contact whose identity must remain concealed. Now I find myself in dire need of his assistance. So I guess that's Byway. Nothing there. Lock. Oh, I guess that's locked. There's a feature there that's locked. Alright, let's go to the clinic. Consulting room. Liu pushed open the frosted glass door of the clinic and immediately spotted Byway with his back to her, meticulously arranging medical supplies on a metal rack beside the hospital bed. Unsure of what injuries she might have, he had prepared a variety of medications and a large stack of white bandages.
哪儿受伤了？躺
Where
下
are
来
you
吧。
hurt? Just lie down. Liu waved her hand to indicate she was really fine. Byway looked her over skeptically. After a thorough check, he finally felt reassured enough to remove his sterile gloves and settled back into his swivel chair. What about the hand?
I know. I feel like you should probably point that out and be like, "Hey, what is this?"
He did an examination and didn't notice the hand with the hole and numbers on it?
I guess not. Not a very good doctor.
Mm-mm.
那这还是你第一次凌晨赶来诊所，
This is
身
the
上却
first
没
time
带
you've
这几
rushed
个
to the
冒险的
clinic in the
窟
middle
窿。
of the night without any visible bullet holes.
这次任务虽然时间长，但不怎么危险
This。mission was lengthy but not particularly dangerous. Liu responded, walking over to the window and pulling back the curtain to ensure that the dark sky was not beginning to rain.
不过你要说窟窿的话，
However, if you're asking about wounds, Liu... Oh, she's wearing a glove. Okay.
Oh, I see.
She removed her glove to show Bio the unusual condition on the palm of her hand. Yeah, what the fuck is that?
Ugh.
Byway, now 47, had previously studied in Canada and worked there as a surgeon during a time of frequent large-scale protests and riots. Renowned as an outstanding orthopedic specialist, it was routine for him to perform 5 surgeries a day due to the heavy caseload during those tumultuous times. After the situation had stabilized, 7 years had swiftly passed. Eventually, Byway decided to return to his home country with his wife and opened a private clinic, which he still operates today. Over the years, Byway had seen numerous cases of physical trauma, becoming somewhat desensitized to them. However, the black oval on Liu's palm was disturbingly unusual, causing his hair to stand on end.
会痛吗？现在是什么感觉？
Does it hurt? What does it feel like right now? Byway grasped Liu's wrist, leaning in closely to inspect for any signs of the black ellipsy tearing through her palm, but he could discern nothing.
先去拍个 X
Let's
光，
get an X-ray first, then you
然后告诉
can
我发
tell
生
me
了什
what
么。
happened. Liu nodded, double-checked that it wasn't raining outside, and then followed Byway out of the examination room. As they walked, she began to explain the chaotic scene at her home and her encounter with the Deadwood monster. He's gonna say you're crazy, bro. Bro's getting thrown in a mental institution.
I know. That hurt.
On the other side of the city, several police cars had pulled up in front of Liu's house, their red and blue intertwined lights constantly swirling and scanning the darkened driveway. Residents were poking their heads around the windows in their robes. Apparently, the sleepiness of the early morning hours hadn't dampened their excitement to get together at all. The officers from the criminal room were talking and laughing, seemingly having only arrived not long ago and still making preparations before forensics. However, the leading captain took a phone call and began to greet all the officers present as they closed up. The incident, which took place in the center of the city and in which the caller had claimed to have heard gunshots, came to an abrupt end, and there was no more official investigation. With the sound of distant sirens, the rain fell again. Uh-oh.
The
Oh,
rain.
it's gonna come back. I'm scared.
Oh no!
After sharing her harrowing ordeal, Liu knew Byway would need some time to digest it all. She leaned against the clinic's window, making a call on a basic phone to her boss since the police had visited her home. The loud noises from her confrontation with the Deadwood monster had undoubtedly alarmed the property management, who likely decided the best course of action was to check the situation and then call the police. The agency usually facilitated smooth interactions with other official bodies, but also encouraged its members to avoid unnecessary complications with external organizations, considering both personal relations and the agency's unique nature. So she doesn't work with police, she works with some weird agency, I guess?
Oh, okay. Okay.
Maybe this agency deals with the supernatural, so this isn't that weird for her.
Maybe. Yeah. Fuck. Who knows, honestly.
We'll find out. Or not. The demo ends right here.
I
Therefore, Liu, braced for a reprimand, was surprised when her boss didn't even ask her to file a report. Instead, he simply acknowledged the situation and said it would be handled. He also mentioned that there was a significant issue with the agency's records and no new missions would be forthcoming soon. Liu ended the call with some confusion, but since she wasn't a clerical worker at the agency, she didn't need to worry about the archival issues. Meanwhile, Baiwei was examining the X-ray films of both hands, which she'd clipped onto a light box. The images of her left hand clearly showed an oval obscuring the X-ray, appearing as a stark, dark spot.
恐怕需要再做别的检查，但我也不敢刺激这个
Might need
东
to run
西。
some more tests, but I'm
很难办。
hesitant to provoke whatever this is. It's tricky. It's always more tests. Not sure those will do anything, though. Liu nodded, pondering her next steps if she couldn't find help here.
除了我之外，
Has
还有
anyone
人
else
经
ever
历过
gone
同
through
样的事。
something like this? Find
I
a Reddit
got
thread.
it.
Sudden dark oval appearing on palm with numbers. Maybe someone has an experience.
That'd be something, to be fair.
Yeah.
It's fucking Reddit.
我有个皮肤科的朋友，见多
I
识
have a
广。
dermatologist
我
friend
回去
who's
问
seen
问。
a lot. I'll ask him.
这段时间你别
What
乱
the fuck are your
待在那
college
里
gonna
消息。
do?
Magic. I don't fucking know. This thing on your hand tells me you have a giant tree monster after you. Stay in Egret City and wait for my update.
谢了，老白。
Thanks, bye.
先不说这些，你坐下。
Let's set that aside for now. Please take a seat. Liu sat across from Baiwei and immediately noticed his lips twitching unnaturally, a sign of his nervousness from her past encounters with him.
精神科的事我
I'm
不了
not
解，
versed in
只能
psychiatry,
简
so I
单问
can
你几
only
句。
ask you a few straightforward questions. Uh-oh. He thinks you're crazy! We're getting put away.
我，精神科。
Me? Psychiatry?
你说的话我都相信。
I believe everything you're saying, but...
Do you?
Baiwei leaned forward, clasping his hands
你
tightly.
刚才提到的枯
The
木，
deadwood monster you
显然是一
described as
种很
clearly
奇怪的生
something
物。
unusual. Given
那
its
种体
size, it
型
would be
很
hard to
难在
move
城市
around the
里隐蔽
city
行踪，
unnoticed, and I can't
以
make
及你的
sense
手
of
臂
your arm's
和它
rapid
突然长出来的肌
muscle
肉，
growth or its
我也
body.
无法理解。在此之前，
You've never seen anything
从未
like
见过
this
这种东西
before,
吗？
right?
没有，
No,
我
this
是
is
第一
my
次碰到。
first encounter.
我知道，
I
你
know
这
your
行的人面
training
对突发
prepares
情
you to
况
handle
有
sudden
办法保持冷
situations
静，
calmly, but this is
但这
different
次
from
跟以
any
前可没
prior
法比。
scenario.
吕璇，
You,
你
do
明
you
白吗？
understand? This is no
这已
longer
经不
just
是
a
心理
matter
素
of
质的
mental
问题了。
resilience. There's
你现在
something
给我的
off
感
about
觉
your condition.
不太对劲。
Well, no shit, man.
You're insane. You nodded, recognizing Baiwei's concerns.
但现在能保持
However,
冷静，
staying calm has
算
probably
是救了
saved
我
my
自己。
life for now, so for the
所以这
moment,
件事先
let's... Uh-oh. I think it's here. Alright, maybe he won't think we're crazy.
It's right behind me, isn't it?
He's right behind me, isn't he? As Liu heard raindrops striking the awning, a hissing sound quickly followed, culminating in a deafening crash of shattering glass.
老白，快跑！
Well, oh, it looks a little different now.
Oh!
I run, get out first. She kicked Baiwei's swivel chair out of the way and bent down to draw her handgun. As she disengaged the safety, she opened fire on the deadwood monster that had burst into the clinic. Bullets hit it, but it twisted and writhed, pulling itself completely into the cramped clinic while a foul stench filled the air. Ah, it stinks too. Baiwei pushed to the doorway by the momentum of the chair, opened the door, and dashed into the clinic's lobby to begin evacuating the night shift staff. In the bright light of the clinic, Liu Shan could finally see the monster clearly. It was less a monster of dead wood and more a black, withered skeleton, uneven and gaunt.
Wait, skeleton. Minecraft.
Minecraft has broken into the real world.
Oh my
Are we
god.
gonna run into Herobrine?
Oh my god.
He's real. He's real. I'm freaking out. Now lacking muscles, nerves, and organs, all of which it seems to want from Liu. Oh, it's trying to take
Huh?
our muscles? Is it trying to become human?
Oh!
That's
heard.
weird.
How did she know that?
I don't know. Liu fired off her remaining 4 bullets without hesitation, quickly swapping the empty magazine for a full one she'd ready and prepared for another round. We're gonna run out of bullets before this thing dies.
Mm-hmm.
The monster seemed overwhelmed by the onslaught. It thrashed its black, muscular parts, flinging a large medicine cabinet toward Liu. The heavy metal cabinet mixed with shards of glass hurtled toward her. Forced to cease fire, she dodged the cabinet, but a flying medicine jar almost tripped her, causing her to stagger. Taking advantage of her momentary imbalance, the Deadwood monster leapt toward Liu, charging directly at her. Well, move! Damn! The impact hit Liu hard in the chest, sending her flying out of the clinic like a stunt actor on wires. She tumbled to the ground, quickly regaining her footing and sprinting toward a nearby storage room. As she ran, she noticed several gashes across her chest where the monster's branches had struck her, with blood slowly seeping out. We're so dead.
Mm-hmm.
Glancing back to make sure the Deadwood monsters hadn't followed, she checked the palm of her left hand. Thankfully, there were no wildly dancing numbers this time. The monster, typically aggressive, hesitated and moved cautiously. It coiled its body and crept slowly into the storage room, its head-like structure swaying unnervingly. Liu contemplated attacking the clump of black muscle again, hoping it might be more effective, but she suddenly noticed something odd about the monster.
不对，他没看着我。
It's not looking at me. The Deadwood wasn't alert to her gun. Instead, its curled body was aimed slightly to the right of her. Keeping her gun aimed at the Deadwood, Liu quickly glanced to her right. What?
Ew.
From the shadows, a monster was almost but not quite human approached her. It had a face eerily similar to a human's, and from her angle it seems to be smiling. The monster swung a thick tail nearly a meter long, its body covered in pale, fine hair and sported long gray hair, looking almost human. However, its lower half had the bent legs typical of feline animals. Liu slowly backed away, but the pale monster sped up and crawled towards her. Oh my fucking god.
Uh-uh.
I'm glad this is just an image. I don't want to see that crawl at me.
I'm being summoned. I'll be right back.
Okay. Compared to the terrifying appearance of the Deadwood monster, Liu felt a strange fondness for this white being. It looked somewhat cute. Okay. Sure, Queen. But that thought lasted only a moment. I'd hope so. Oh! What the fuck is that?
Yeah, you're not wrong.
The pale monster turned its face devoid of eyes toward the ground and then opened its mouth, a vast maw that occupied half its head filled with blade-like fangs. We're so dead. Liu screamed and fell back onto the ground, but the grotesque display was far from over. The monster lifted its left hand, revealing a crack that stretched from the base of its thumb across the wrist. Suddenly, the crack widened, exposing a rugged black interior from which a dark red tongue emerged. Shaking, Liu also turned her left hand. The black oval remained unchanged, but the connection between her and the monster was unmistakable. What the fuck is going on? The monster then turned its attention to the wounds on Liu's chest. It bent forward and began crawling toward her on all fours.
别过来，不许动！
Stay back! Don't move, or I'll shoot! Liu warned, perhaps unnerved by the monster's disturbingly human-like appearance. However, it ignored her warning and accelerated its pace. Before Liu could raise her gun, the monster had already lunged into her arms. Now on the ground, the monster's head opened wider, and its thicker, more agile tongue licked at Liu's bleeding wounds. Okay. Running along the surface of the tongue were black lines identical to those on the palm of her left hand. Liu threw her head back, her teeth chattering as she gripped the gun tightly, her fingernails digging painfully into her skin. Uh-oh. The Deadwood monster, seemingly unable to restrain itself any longer, suspected that the pale intruder was there to steal its prey. However, with the chance to restore its own body so close, it wasn't about to relinquish its opportunity. It had spent too much time in the sewers, subsisting on filthy water. Is this like a separate narrator? Because I don't think she should know. She wouldn't be able to know all this information.
She really should.
Yeah. The pale monster acted first. Organs on either side of its head suddenly opened, and in the next instant, it darted beneath the deadwood. What happened next was something Liu could never have imagined. Accompanied by the sounds of cracking wood chips and the heavy tearing of bark, the pale monster began to feed. Oh, it's just hungry, I guess. Its massive mouth positioned atop its head tore open the deadwood's body and started to devour it. To Liu, the deadwood seemed to crumble like a chocolate wafer, scattering fragments as it was consumed by the pale monster's head. Imagine the pale monster is actually like the love interest. That's the theory.
No, that would be crazy.
The deadwood thrashed wildly, cracking the walls of the warehouse and leaving dark scratches where signs hung. Meanwhile, the small predator used its strong tail to stabilize itself, treating the deadwood's resistance as if it were merely the swaying of a revolving restaurant, and continued to gorge itself. Okay. Its left hand even reached directly into the horrific crack of the deadwood that had been feeding on Liu's arm, extracting soft tissue to stuff into its gaping maw. This thing is ravenous. It's hungry. Liu slowly stood up, leaning against the wall corner. Debris scattered around her, and black fluid from the deadwood's shattered body pooled at her feet. She gripped her handgun, unsure of what to do next. All the knowledge and skill she had seemed useless against this surreal scene. Okay, so her agency probably is not anything supernatural then. The small weapon in her hand was her only support, but if the pale monster turned its appetite toward her next, would the handgun really be effective? Her mind briefly conjured a terrifying scenario. An earthquake struck the sea where the cruise ship sailed. Massive waves swiftly rose and morphed into the shape of the pale monster, effortlessly slicing the cruise ship in half. 3 seconds later, Liu was jolted back to reality. The deadwood monster had vanished, leaving only fragments in a pool of black liquid on the ground. The scene before her was more eerie than anything she could have imagined. The predator lay on the ground, its face resembling a human's, pressed against the earth, while its mouth on top of its head slowly swept up the remaining debris with its tongue. Liu aimed her gun at it, calculating whether to shoot to maximize the likelihood of a hit. Contentedly, the pale monster stood up, its agile tongue licking around its mouth before closing its head, then began to crawl toward Liu once again. Liu felt her hand holding the gun tremble slightly and her vision blur. She knew her body was fine, it was her nerves getting the better of her. She had faced the deadwood monster without flinching, so why did this seemingly more benign pale monster unsettle her so much? The monster paused in front of Liu, paced around her like a dog, and then settled down at her feet. It folded in the appendages it had previously extended, now seeming completely relaxed. Well, you know, I guess it's full from its meal. Won't eat you yet. Liu rotated the gun towards its head. As Liu considered whether she could have handled the deadwood monster alone had this pale monster not appeared, she questioned its intentions. Was it hostile? Should she ignore the resemblance it bore to her? She answered these doubts with a resolute no, then secured the safety on her handgun and tucked it into her coat. Carefully, she bent down and reached out to touch the pale monster's fur. You gonna pet it? The moment she made contact, she felt the warmth of a living being and the rhythmic thumping of its heartbeat, a familiar, comforting sensation that slightly narrowed the distance between them. Gradually, Liu placed her hand on the monster. In response, its thick tail rose quietly, pressing against her back to support her weight and curling at a comfortable angle to allow her to sit and rest. The seemingly friendly monster extended its neck and turned its head to gently touch Liu's cheek. The hard ridges around its massive mouth scraped uncomfortably against her skin, but she dared not move abruptly, choosing instead to reluctantly appreciate this dangerous act of kindness. Huh. Blue, do you still dream about that ship? Come and find me through the door. Oh, we're getting a little cutscene. Really obsessed with this cruise ship imagery. A beautiful and dangerous monster girl? I think that is the love interest.
Wow, I can't. I have to be honest, that's actually wild.
Yeah. So Yuri 1 is a half vampire and a robot, and this is a girl with the pole in her hand and a monster, essentially.
I guess being human is too boring.
Humans, boring.
She have an eyeball?
Huh.
That's sort of sad.
Who are all these guys? Actually, wait. This is a lot of women. Are there multiple love interests?
Yeah, like, yeah.
Oh, we got part 2? I thought the demo would have ended there, honestly. The cruise ship decomposed made its way through the sea, propelled by waves flecked with milky foam heading toward Logo's dock. Despite having a new travel companion, Liu's nerves were not calmed. She was anxious about the unpredictable currents and worried that they might not reach their destination. Feeling powerless over the ship's course, meanwhile, her companion seemed relaxed and at ease. She invited Liu to the balcony to enjoy the endless expanse of the sea and sky while sampling some freshly brewed red tea. The sea breeze mingled with the steam from the tea, wafting its rich aroma to Liu, which momentarily soothed her. Liu took a sip of her tea, pushing her concerns to the back of her mind. Staring out at the ocean, she reassured herself that the cruise ship would ultimately reach its destination, and it didn't really matter if that wasn't Logostock. What mattered was that the journey continued. "Come take a seat over here," her companion called out. Liu nodded and walked over to sit, but suddenly lost her balance and fell backward. Startled from her dreams by a sudden twitch, Liu found herself lying in her familiar bed, her gaze locked onto the well-known ceiling above. Nestled beside her was a small creature, its body cloaked in milky white fur. It lay curled up utterly still, save for the gentle parting of the great mouth atop its head. Since it lacked eyelids, unlike most animals, Liu was unaware of how to tell if it was still dreaming. Okay, you know, I could maybe see it if it, like, the monster could talk or something, but the monster's acting like a pet.
He referred to it as like an animal.
Yeah.
This doesn't seem good. I guess unless it evolves, but like,
Yeah.
it's still a bit
We
weird.
need to have it reach a certain level to hit its evolution. It's like Pokemon.
It's like those Pokemon freaks here, right?
Oh my god. She thought about calling its name to see if it would respond. It has a name?
Does she made it?
Maybe its name is Jimmy. As she sat up on the edge of the bed, she remembered how Baiwei had paused for a long time when filling out the name on the blood form test for the creature.
我还是第一次给
I've
别的
never
东
had
西
to
取
name
名字。
another being before. Given her social media handle was merely her student ID, the act of naming felt daunting. The creature did not respond or seemed upset. She doubted her ability to devise a more suitable name. Perhaps...
小白
Palion? Palion suddenly lifted its head, its large mouth trembling as it opened in a languid stretch, its tongue stretched taut. After closing its mouth, Palion climbed onto Liu, licking the bandages on her arm, needing to show more affection. It then nestled its cheek into hers, much as it had hours before. Huh.
他好像很喜欢这样。
Seems to really enjoy this. Relieved, Liu sighed and gently pushed Palion away before rising from the bed. She picked up her phone from the nightstand. It was just past 9.
昨晚回来的时候，我也没找我多问，
Property management didn't ask
是觉得
questions
我已
last
经在
night. They
警
must
察
know
那
I've
里做
already
过笔录
spoken to
了
the
吧？
police. With this thought, Liu headed toward the living room. Suddenly, she noticed a foul smell from her clothes and realized the stronger scent was coming from Palion following behind her. I think that thing needs a shower. Give it a bath right now. Liu guessed that the mysterious creature made of withered wood might have transferred the foul odor to them. Regardless, having such a smell permeate her home was distressing. She bent down to coax Palion to the bathroom and unexpectedly leapt into her arms. How big is this thing? I thought it was like human sized, but is it like cat sized? She's just holding it. In one arm.
In one arm?
Yeah.
So it's really small. Is it
Liu-
like Chihuahua size?
I don't know. Holding her breath, Liu scooped up the light creature, cradling it in one arm as they headed for the bathroom. So fairly small. It looked bigger in the image. With a shaky thumb, she unlocked her phone. It was nearly 11 o'clock. She'd spent nearly an hour drying Pellion's fur with a hairdryer.
要去买个大型
I
犬
need a
用的
dryer
吹风机
suitable
了
for。large dogs. So it's the size of a large dog.
Like German Shepherd?
Maybe. Pretty
Or like
strong
you-
lifting that with one arm.
Yeah. Hey.
With its human-like face and soft fur, without showing any signs of aggression or opening its large mouth, Pelion elicited feelings in Liu that lay somewhere between a beloved pet and a dear friend. Bro's gonna fall in love with her pet. I'm kind of scared.
Yeah, no, that's not a good
Mm-mm.
licorice.
Licorice doesn't like it either.
She's pissed.
Thank you for your thoughts.
Thank you for your thoughts. They're very insightful.
Yeah.
Licorice.
They really elevate the stream and the commentary. Pelion appeared quite satisfied with Liu's cleaning efforts, hopping around while opening the large mouth on its head. The sight tightened Liu's chest, prompting her to push aside her fleeting affection. Pelion was no ordinary creature. It was a far cry from the comforting companionship of a household pet, a truth she dared not forget. Turning her head away, Liu chose not to look at Pelion's uneven giant teeth or its disturbingly nimble tongue anymore. She needed a moment to sit down and think through her plans for the day. The living room was in chaos, offering nowhere to comfortably settle. It seemed her first step would have to be calling the property manager to repair the damage to her home.
把小白藏到老白
Should
那
I
边
have，
还
Pelion
是
at Bai's place, or I guess they have a no pets rule. Not sure how you'd explain this pet though. She was about to sit on the sofa to sort out the situation.
首先，这一连串的
Firstly, the
怪
string
事
of odd events that
都
unfolded
集中
last
在
night
一
must
个
be
夜晚，
connected to the
这
moments
肯定和
before I
我在
awoke
沙
on
发
the
上苏
sofa
醒
and the
前的遭
strange
遇
hole in my
以及手
palm.
心的动有关。那接下来
Next, I should
应该去找
examine the
家门口
surveillance
和物业
footage
小
from
区
the
里的监
cameras
控
at the
看
entrance
夜
to
晚
my
的录像
home。and throughout the community, reviewing what they captured during the night.
其次
Additionally, I'm
是
almost
子
out
弹
of
快用光了，
bullets. Considering the
考虑
likelihood
还
of
有可
similar
能碰上类似的
encounters,
情
I need
况，
to replenish my
要去物业
stock
城
from the
弄一些。
Never Sleep City.
接着
Finally,
就是
I'll
等
await
老白
Bai's
那里出
report.
报告吧。
Although it may not
估计
reveal much,
很难有
Pelian's
什么直
timely
接的线
appearance
索，
seems
但是
intricately
小白
linked to
出现
these
的时机恰到好
occurrences.
处。
As Liu pondered these plans, Pelion curled up comfortably at her feet, its soft belly and fur brushing against her, soothing her thoughts.
如果走投无路，
If I'm left with no other
那不管对
choice,
小
then
白
I
做
must
什
do
么，
whatever it
都要
takes
找
for
到解决
Pelion
问
to
题的
solve
办
this
法。
problem. Liu bent down and smoothed Pelian's fur a few times, preparing to take it to Baiwei's clinic to await the results. In the meantime, she planned to have the property management come to clean and replace the broken glass.
叫物业来之前，
I
先
should
把
get
带
rid of
血的东西
anything
拿去追
bloodstained
扔掉
before
吧。
calling property management. As Liu Shun pondered where to dispose of the sofa cover and her shirt, Pelion suddenly arched its back, staring intently toward the front door. Trusting Palion's keen senses, Liu immediately grabbed her handgun and readied herself, but after several tense seconds, nothing happened. She frowned, tiptoed, and moved silently toward the door. Beside the front door, an electronic display showed the cold-toned world seen through the surveillance camera. A little girl stood outside, looking around anxiously, blinking rapidly, and occasionally licking her lips. After a moment, she seemed to make up her mind and raised her hand to press the doorbell. Liu ignored the chiming sound, her eyes fixed on the screen, trying to determine if the girl was carrying any weapons. The girl, receiving no response, pressed the doorbell
好像
again.
没拿什么东西，
She doesn't seem to
但
be
也可能
holding
藏在衣服
anything,
里，
but she
而
could be
且监视器
hiding
的角
something
度
under her
也看不清
clothes.
旁边还有没有人
So the
藏。
camera's angle doesn't clear if anyone else is lurking nearby. With the door still unopened, the girl's blink rate unnaturally increased, and she began biting her lower lip while her right leg started to shake. She looked as if she might cry soon, her eyebrows furrowed and her lips tightly pursed.
再观察一下吧。
Let's watch a little longer. The girl looked up, peering through the door's peephole, seemingly oblivious to the surveillance camera positioned above her.
你好，吕小姐，
Hello, Miss Liu. My name is Jasper.
能开一下门
Can
吗？
you open the door?
选什么？
Rose, what?
So-
Never mind. How does she know my
他怎么
name?
知道我的名字？
Suspicious. Evil little girl. That's my thought. It's not difficult to find someone's information these days, but the fact that she went out of her way to do so was cause for suspicion. Moreover, her conviction that Liu was definitely home suggested a clear purpose for her visit. The girl's nervousness increased as she glanced around and leaned closer to the door, lowering her voice as if confiding in the door handle
你
itself.
放心开门吧。
Please, open the
我是普通
door.
人
I'm
类。
just a human. Huh? Does she know about the monsters? Her words, delivered with a confident smile, only made Liu more cautious, an understandable reaction. To the girl, this appeared to be her trump card, yet it failed to have the desired effect. She lifted her head, her neck retracting slightly as she continued.
是老板让我来找你的。
My boss sent me to find you. He wants to do business with you and asked me to bring a gift. As the girl reached into her pocket, Liu instinctively disengaged the safety on her handgun. The girl then pulled out a coin and held it up to the peephole. At that moment, Palion's wing-like appendages flared out, and it watched the door with increased vigilance. Clearly, this was no ordinary coin. Liu pressed against the wall, cautious of the coin potentially being propelled through the peephole. However, contrary to her fears, the girl simply retracted the coin and began to mutter to herself in frustration.
怎么会这
Why
样？
isn't this working? She should be
怎么
home.
会这样？
Her voice grew softer as she spoke, and tears threatened to overflow. Liu glanced over to see Palion folding its wing-like appendages and lying back down on the
他
carpet.
看上去没什么威胁
She，seems
而且明
harmless.
显
She
对这怪物
obviously
有
knows
了解。
something about this creature.
好吧，
Okay. With her gun hand hidden behind her, Liu used her left hand to lock the smaller door within the larger security gate, looking down through the sturdy steel mesh as the young girl who introduced herself as Jasper.
你好，我是玄龟。
Hello, I'm Jasper.
你是来
You're here to...
那是什么？
Wow, what is that? Jasper suddenly pressed up against the mesh, her hands gripping the gaps, causing Liu to almost draw her gun and press it against the girl's forehead. However, the excitement and joy overflowing from Jasper's face halted her.
毛茸茸的。
It's so fluffy, cute, and almost human-like. Does it talk?
会说话吗？
不？
No.
脸太
Its
像人
face
类
is
了。
too human-like, and its
四肢也不
limbs
是我
aren't
直立
suited
行
for
走。
upright
那它
walking.
身体上
There
和
must
人
be
类
a
相似的部分，
special reason
肯
for
定
the
是有什么特
similarities
殊
to
原因
human
的。
anatomy.
头顶像是能
Its
打
head
开的
looks
部
like
分
it
啊
might open.
难道
Could the
大脑
brain be
糊弄错了？
exposed, or is it
还是
located
大脑
somewhere
在
else?
别的地方？
Jasper's demeanor was like that of a school child visiting a zoo, except the words she uttered carried mixed feelings for Liu. Let's steer the conversation back on track.
你刚才说替老板来见我，
You said you were sent here. You were sent by your boss. Hearing Liu's question, Jasper quickly regained her composure and stood up straight.
我能
Yes,
先
can I
进
come
去
in?
吗？
Discussing this
在
at the
门口说
doorstep
这些
feels
东西，
awkward.
怕
I
被
don't
路
want
过的人当成
passerby to
傻
think
子。
I'm silly. Liu nodded, closing the smaller gate and then struggling briefly with the main security door, still adjusting to the new lock that the property manager had installed the previous night after the old one was tampered with. As soon as a sliver of light appeared through the opening, Jasper quickly squeezed through into the entryway. As Rosaline stepped inside, she immediately noticed the electronic screen on the wall. Ah, there's surveillance. I was foolishly waving at the people earlier. Liu stepped back to make room for Jasper, keeping her handgun discreetly behind her. Jasper rubbed her heels together, slipped off her shoes, and neatly arranged them with a few taps of her foot. She dashed into a living room and made her way to Palion. She knelt on the floor, cautiously stroking Palion's back and neck as though she were petting a dog.
你以前有见过他？
Have you seen it before?
没有，
No,
我第一
this
次
is my
看到
first
长这样
time
的。
seeing anything like
过
it.
吕小姐是
But
想
you're
问
wondering
我
why
为
I'm
什
not
么不
afraid,
怕他
right, Miss Liu? Liu Shan nodded. She judged that Jasper was likely still a primary school student given the childishness of her actions, yet her vocabulary seemed unusually mature for her age.
虽然体态是人形的，
Although
大多
humanoid
很危险
creatures，are often dangerous,
但是连脸
those
部
with
都很
faces
像
that
人类的
resemble
话，
humans tend to be
反而
much
安全得多，
safer.
那
There's
么
also
交
a
流的
higher
可能性
likelihood
也
of
很高。
communication. Jasper stretched her neck to get a closer look at the large mouth that topped Palion's head, curiously probing its seams.
而且他能跟
And
你
the
相
fact
处的
that it
话，
interacts
说
with
明
you
对
shows
人
it
类也有一定认
understands
知，
humans to
没
some
问题的。
extent. That shouldn't be a problem.
我对这些东西
I'm
没那
not
么了
very
解。
familiar with these
把你的来
creatures.
意和
Please
所谓
clearly
老
explain
板
why you're here and
都
who
说
this
清楚。
boss of yours is.
啊，
Oh,
差
right,
点
I
忘了
almost
正事。
forgot. The main point. Jasper reached into her pocket and pulled the same coin she had shown at the door, capturing Palion's attention.
这是老板送给你
This
的
is a
东
gift
西。
from my boss to you. Liu walked over to Jasper to take the coin, and Palion followed closely, standing on its hind legs and resting its paws on Liu's arm, bringing its face close to the coin as if to examine it.
他这是在警惕未知
It's
的
being
东西吧？
cautious of the unknown,
就
right?
像我
Like I
刚
said
才说的
before,
那
it
样，
recognizes
对他来
humans,
说
so it
人类
doesn't
是已
react
知
with
的，
hostility.
所以不会有什么。
Huh. The bronze coin featured a relief of a limbless crustacean on one side and was smooth on the other. Palion, acting like an airport security officer, scanned the coin, then shook its head and settled down beside Liu, lazily swishing its tail.
绿小姐，你看，它很像是
Miss
在保
Liu,
护
see,
你。
it's almost as if it's
好小
trying to
姐。
protect you. That's quite unusual. Watching Jasper's boundless enthusiasm, Liu couldn't help but see her as childlike, especially given her forgetfulness about explaining the purpose of the coin.
大人和小孩
The
的差别
difference between adults and
就在对
children
常识的
might
了解
just
程
be in
度。
their understanding of common knowledge.
这硬币有什么用？
What is this coin used for?
哎，不好意思，
Oh,
又
I
忘记了。
forgot again. Quite forgetful, this little kid. Jasper stood up, pointed at the coin in Liu's hand, and explained.
吕小姐，你把
Miss
硬币
Liu,
抛起
throw
来，
the coin
然
into
后
the
用
air,
手抓
catch
住
it, and then
接
hold
着
your
手心
palm
朝
upward
上，
and guess
看
if
它
it's
是正
heads
面
or
还是反
tails.
面就。
Liu nodded, and before flipping the coin, she pulled her right hand from behind her back and set the handgun on the table. Jasper's eyes widened in shock, and she instinctively stepped back, distancing herself slightly from Liu.
不用担心，
Don't worry, I
我
now
现在
believe
相
you
信你
didn't
不是
come
来
here
害
to
我的，
harm me.
不然
Doing
做
so
这么
would be
多
overly
实在
elaborate.
大费周
You
章
can。just call me Liu
之后
Shan
叫我
from
吕
now
璇
on.
就行。
Her trust in Jasper, however, was largely based on Palion's behavior and its reaction to the situation. Ooh. Alright, guys, heads or tails? What do we think?
Tails.
Tails? Alright. Liu definitely moved her fingers to position the coin on her thumbnail, and then she flicked her thumb, sending the coin spinning into the air, while Jasper looked up in anticipation. Liu enjoyed the peculiar whirring sound of the metal slicing through the air and deliberately let the coin fall a bit further before catching it with one hand. Wow, you can really catch a coin in midair with one hand. Most people need to use both hands to make sure they catch it. Jasper began clapping, and for a moment Liu couldn't tell if she was being sarcastic.
好了，
Alright,
画着
the
螃蟹
side
的
with
那
the
面
crab is
是
heads,
正面
right?，
那个不是
That's not a
螃蟹，
crab,
不
but
过
yes,
确
it
实
is
是正面
heads.。Liu shifted her gaze to her own hand. Alright. The blue box is a regular option that must have a noticeable impact on the development of the story. Can I save? The white box is a secondary option that doesn't have a noticeable impact on story development. Yay, I can save.
That menu is not good, I feel like.
Yeah.
It's so light.
Where's save one? There's like a quick and then...
The
yeah,
text
it's
should
hard
be
to
black.
read. Yeah. It should be white when it's black like this, but it should be black here.
Mm-hmm.
Alright. Let's try tails.
反面吧。
Tails then.
我不太
I'm
喜
not
欢
a
吃
fan
螃
of
蟹。
crabs.
说了
I
不
already
是螃
said
蟹
it's
了。
not a crab. Well, shit. Liu opened her hand to reveal the image of the crustacean facing up.
哦，
Oh,
猜错
I
了，
guessed wrong.
真可
That's too
惜。
bad.
然后呢？
So does that mean
这样
it
就不算
doesn't
数
count
了。
this time? As Liu finished speaking, the coin quickly filled with cracks and crumbled like a collapsing sandcastle, turning into fine black dust that sprinkled into her palm. Startled, she was about to shake it off when Jasper suddenly
雨
spoke.
轩，这就是
Liu,
老板
this is
为
the
了表
gift
示
my
诚
boss
意
sent
送
to
给你的
show
礼
his
物。
sincerity. Jasper gestured towards the chaotic living room behind her. Following Jasper's pointing hand, Liu looked up at her, eyes widened in amazement. Pallion agilely leaped around, dodging the tumultuous surge of furniture pieces and glass, and settled back on the sofa. Oh, he's cleaning the crime scene with the coin flip, I guess. Huh. The scattered glass shards began to move back toward the broken window. The bloodstains on the sofa slowly retracted, revealing the pristine fabric beneath, and the damaged cabinets and lamps defied gravity, lifting back to their original positions. Liu felt as if a thick, murky, deep sea was cleansing her living room. She could almost hear ancient waves in her ears. The old shells emitted a strange odor, but the bodies that grew were pure and beautiful. In the cycle of renewal, it could survive through millenniums until Liu suddenly regained her senses, the illusion dissipating, but the transformations in the living room remained a tangible reality. What happened here? Jasper placed her hands in front of her, smiling slightly, appearing suddenly more mature. Everything damaged tonight has been restored. Unfortunately, since you guessed incorrectly, this coin could have worked one more time. This is a Chitin coin. My boss hopes this gift will help us become friends. Liu clenched her fist, the black dust of the coin slipping through her fingers.
你到底是谁？
Who are you
你说
exactly?
的老板
And who is this boss you
究竟
keep
是什么人？
mentioning?
我是老板的养
I'm the
女，
adopted daughter of
平时
my
也替
boss,
他
and
打
I
理
help
店
run
里
his
的事务。
business. Jasper replied as she sat down on the sofa and hugged a pillow to her chest.
老板说，
My
你
boss
现
believes
在是
you
世
are
界
now
上
the
最富
richest
有的人。
person in the world.
他
It's
追溯过
unlikely
去
there's
或者
ever
遥
been
想
or
未
will
来，
ever be
都
anyone
不有
with
累
such
积至
immense
此的财
wealth.
富集中在个体上，靠买卖
We
生
who
存的
make
我们，
our living
十
through
分希
trade
望能和
really
女
hope to
神
build
建
a
立友
good
好的关系。
relationship with you, Liu. She clapped her hands together, brushing the remaining dust from her palms.
我听不懂。
I don't understand.
什么财富？
What wealth are you talking about? Liu knew the conversation wasn't about cash, but rather about the mysterious black hole and numbers that had appeared in her palm. She was curious to see how much Rosalie knew about her unique situation. At the same time, she noticed that the part of the sofa that had been cut hadn't reverted to its original state, nor had the bullet holes in the ceiling. Touching the scar on her waist left by the deadwood, surprisingly, it no longer hurt.
原来如此。
So that's what's happening.
老板说
The
你
boss
有
says
一
you
亿
have 100 million.
女璇，你还没
You,
接触
you
过使
haven't
用这种
yet
货币的
engaged in
交易，
transactions using this
所以
form of
对这个
currency,
数
so
量
the
没有概
figure
念。
might not mean much to you.
虽然
Even
就
so,
算
it
这
would
只
be a
是人类
staggering
通用
amount
的
in
货
any
币，也
human
足够惊人了。
currency. Jasper smiled, her feet rubbing together at the tips as she sat on the sofa.
先等等，
Hold on, how'd you know I
你
had
们是
these
怎么知道？
things? She anticipated that this question wouldn't be difficult for Jasper to answer. If she was willing to respond directly, she would do so. If she preferred to evade, she likely had a prepared excuse. But the usually talkative young girl now seemed troubled. She hopped off the sofa and paced back and forth with furrowed brows.
你怎么了？
What's the matter? Jasper shook her head, stopped next to Pallion, and then half knelt, leaning her body against Pallion's back. She rubbed his thick fur while she spoke.
其
To
实
be
我也
honest,
有点搞不
I'm
明白
also a
了。
little confused
但
about it.
是
But, Jasper rested her cheek against Pallion's lower back, keeping her gaze steady on Liu.
还是跟你
I
说
might
吧。
as well tell you. Here's what happened. Last night, my boss
昨天
mentioned
晚
that
上
I
老
needed
板
to
就跟
visit
我
you
说这
today.
个结果
But
早
when I
上
woke
起
up this
床之
morning,
后，
although I
我
remembered I
虽
was
然还
supposed to
记得
come
这
here, I
件事，
couldn't recall
但
why. I'm
想
sure
不
I
起
asked
老
him
板为
last
什么了，
night.
所以我又
So I
去
went
找
back
了
to
老
ask the
板。
boss, and
没想
surprisingly,
到
he
他
had
也
forgotten
忘了。
too. It took him a
我
while to
好久
recall
才
that
跟
you
我
might
说
have had
你身上
you
应
might
该
have
有
this
个亿，
100 million. That's why I
所以
got
我
here
就有
later
点
than
猜到，
planned.
不
I
然
was
本
supposed
来
to
一
come
定
in the
早上
morning.
就来。
Seems that the boss had prepared in advance just like you, but had a memory slip, particularly about the 100 million, which he might have only found out about a few hours earlier. This inconsistency in the details in Jasper's story made Liu even more perplexed about what she was involved in.
这些话可别在老板
Please
面
don't
前
mention
提
any
啊
of this in front of the
我
boss.
怕
I'm
他
worried
知
he
道
might
我
get
说太
angry
多
if he
会生
knew I'd
气
said
了。
too much.
看来你们关系
Sounds
还
like
有
your
点复杂
relationship。is quite complex. Alright, go
我知
on
道
and tell me more about the value
你
of
接
this
着说这一
100
亿的价值。
million. Jasper nodded and continued.
你以1比
You
1000
should
的
think
算
of it
法
as
去
an
对应平时花的
exchange
钱
rate
就
of
很合适
1
啦。
to
只
1,000
不过要拿
compared to
到你的
ordinary
这
spending.
一亿，可比
However,
赚
getting your
1000
hands
亿
on
元
this
难多
100 million
了。
is far more difficult than earning 100 billion.
就算你说的天花乱
Even
坠，
if
在
you
我
make
听
it
来也都
sound
是胡
convincing
话。
to me, it all sounds
实际
like
上这一亿
gibberish.
只
In
给我带来了
reality,
危
this
险。
100 million has only
钱
brought
要能
danger.
换到对
Money
等价
only
值
has
的东
value
西
if
才
it
有
can be
意义。
exchanged for something of equivalent worth.
所以才说你对这些还
That's
没
why I
有概
said you
念
don't
嘛。
yet grasp the
你太小
concept.
看
You're
这一亿了。
underestimating the power of this
现
100
在
million.
你就因为
Because
有
of it,
他
you've
们
already
而白
received
白
a
得到
gift
了
from
老
my
板的礼
boss,
物，
and from now
此后
on,
也
will
会一直
continue
由
to
我
guide
们
you
作为
and
你的
help you
向
deal
导，
with
帮助你
supernatural
面对超自然
occurrences.
事物。
那我现在能
Can I
用它
use it
换
to
回我
return to
正
my
常的
normal
生
life
活吗？
now? Jasper pouted, seemingly displeased with Liu's reply. She sat on the floor, legs crossed, her right hand buried in Pallion's thick fur.
刚才说的都是我从老
Everything
板
I've
那
told
听
you is
来
what
的
I've
啦。
heard from the boss.
我也
I'm
不
not
清
clear
楚
on
你
the
的
other
那些
uses
价
of your
值，
wealth
除
beyond
了买
making
东西还有什么用
purchases.
法？所以先跟我去
So
店
come
里，
with me to
和
the
老板
shop.
见一面，肯
Meeting
定
the
比
boss
我
in
在这里
person
说
will be
空
much
话
more
来的有
useful than
用
me。speculating here. Liu bowed her head, reflecting on the dreamlike vision she had experienced. She felt as if she were being swept away by a profound current, drifting uncontrollably into the unknown. She wondered if following Rosaline might lead her into danger, or what she should do if she decided to refuse. Seeing that Liu remained silent, Jasper went over to Pallion and began to stroke its soft neck and long fur. As Liu's thoughts turned, they slowly shifted from rational considerations to more existential questions. Why was she experiencing these events? And why was she so unnervingly calm, with fear and surprise fleeting?
算了，
Never mind.
先想办法活
I need
下
to
去吧。
find a way to survive in the first place, I guess. Liu stood up and walked behind Jasper.
我明白你
I
和你的
understand
老
that you and
板
your boss
对
are
这
well
些
versed
乱
in
七
these
八糟的事情
complicated
很了
matters
解，
and that helping me
也知道你
benefits
们帮
you.
我，但我不能在一
But I
无所
can't
知的
just
情
go
况下
back to your
就跟你
shop
回
without
店里，
understanding
然后
what
按
I'm
照你的
dealing with
建
and
议
act
行
on
事。
your advice. I need to
我需
investigate
要
this
自
on
己
my
能
own.
够等我对你口中的超自然
Once I have
生
a
物
better
有些
grasp
了
of
解
these
之后，
supernatural beings you
再提
speak
提你
of,
们
I'll
打算怎么
consider
帮我
your
的。
offer to help.
嗯，
Alright, I get where you're coming from, and I know you're
也知
capable of
道以
handling
你
this,
的
but I
能
still
力
hope you
大
can
概能
trust
处理。
us.
那
Let's
就
wait
等我
until
做
I'm
好
ready to
准备再
discuss
谈。
further. Is there anything else?
没什
I
么要
need to
说的
take
了吧？
this little creature out for a bit. I'll
我要
drive you
带小
back
白
to
出
your
去，
shop first.
先开车送你回店里吧。
You're gonna take this out for a walk in public? I'm not sure how people would respond to that.
没问题。
No problem. Jasper responded, continuing to smooth Pallion's fur as she spoke.
来，准备
Come
出
on,
门
let's get
啦。
ready to go.
这个
This little Liu, does it have a
还
name?
有名，
不知道，
I'm not sure,
为
so
了
I
方
just
便，
gave it a
我
nickname
自己
for
给它取了一个。
convenience.
先别说，
Wait,
让
let me
我猜
guess.
猜。
It kind of looks like the
它看
Sphinx.
上
Did
去
you
有
name
点
it
像，
Sphinx?
不过这个思路
But
的
if we're
话，
going that
应该叫贝
direction,
斯
it
特
should
吧
be？called
毕竟它更像
Basset,
猫。
since it's more cat-like.
我觉得更像
I
狗
think it
吧
looks。more like a dog, actually. Pallion, sensing Liu picking up her phone and gun, realizing she was about to leave, and got up to follow her.
不过你看，它像戴
But
了
look,
个
it's
头
like it's
盔。
wearing a helmet, and those tufts almost look like wings. Doesn't that resemble a Norse Valkyrie?
那我可不敢
I
这样
wouldn't
说。
dare treat it like that.
开玩笑
Just
啦。
kidding. What did you
那
name
你
it?
叫它什么？
Liu finished tying her shoes, looped her car keys onto her finger, slipped them onto her pocket, and then called out,
小白，
Pallion,
走吧。
let's go. I'm honestly surprised the demo's still going.
Oh yeah, really long demos.
Mm-hmm. Especially considering these games, I don't think are more than like 8 to 10 hours long usually.
Huh? Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I read pretty fast, so.
Yeah.
Liu followed the directions of the navigation app to the location Jasper had mentioned, checking out the information and reviews listed for the shop. It seemed to be a normal pawn shop and antique store, which was quite different from the underground market catering to supernatural entities that she had imagined. As they approached a yellow traffic light, Liu slowed the car and came to a stop, then glanced in the rear view mirror. Jasper was still clutching Pallion tightly, her expression marked by discomfort.
你帮小白把帽子戴好。
Make sure
别让路人
Pallion's hood
看
is
到。
on properly to keep him from being seen by passerby.
怎么能
How could you name it Pallion? Damn, she's mad. Jasper protested, but she adjusted Pallion's hood and held him close protectively.
人家长
It
得
looks
这
so
么好？
fierce with that mouth on its head. It has such a big, strong tail. Jasper cradled Pallion's tail in her arms. Well, I mean, like, the meanest dogs are always named, like, Cupcake Sprinkles or some shit.
Let's see that. Oh my god.
And, like, the nicest dogs ever are always named, like, World Destroyer. So the sweeter the name, the, like, more violent the creature.
Oh my god.
居然叫它小
And you
白。
just call it Pallion? That seems too understated. You understood that the name might not seem appropriate, but you couldn't think of a better one.
小白挺喜欢的。
Pallion seems to like it, so let's keep it. Just as Jasper's about to protest, Liu quickly interrupted, preferring not to get into an argument with the child. I imagine the creature decides it can speak and it's like, yes, I like the name Pallion. That'd be crazy.
虽然看起来好像是我在养着
Might
它，
seem like I'm keeping it as a
但我
pet,
只
but
要看到
honestly,
小白
every
张
time
嘴就会
Pallion
觉得
opens
很不
its
舒
mouth,
服
it。makes me uncomfortable.
但你就
So
很
you
喜
like
欢
these
这些
supernatural beings, right? Why is
超自然
that?
会吗？
Do I?
我
I
觉得
guess
跟
I
猫猫狗狗
don't
之
see
类
them
的
as much
没什
different
么
from
区别
cats or
吧。
dogs. Liu replied, accelerating to keep pace with traffic. She let her imagination roam, envisioning the cars around them as animal-shaped, with drivers merely acting as mimicking organs.
我觉得差多了。
I think there's a big difference.
也是，
Well, it would be odd if my
如果跟其
views
他
were
人
the
一样
same
才
as
奇怪
everyone
呢。
else's. Jasper possesses a unique aura, not just that of a mature child or someone wise beyond their years. Liu suspected that her distinctive qualities stemmed from a highly unusual upbringing,
或者
or perhaps from something her
Tasha the
so-called
Laoban.
boss did to her.
不过我
My
弟弟的
brother,
想
however,
法倒
thinks
是
more
跟
like an
小
ordinary
朋友人。
person. Oh, I forgot to mention,
忘记
we're
说了，
twins, both
我们是
adopted
双
by
胞
the
胎
boss.
还有个弟弟
You have a
呢。
brother? Liu adjusted the steering wheel as they continued toward their destination.
我活了27年都没碰到
I've
过
lived
这
for
种事。
27 years without encountering
世界上
anything
居然
like
还有
this,
你
yet
们
there
这
are
样从
people
小就
like
和
you
超自然
who've
生
been
物接触的人
interacting
在，
with supernatural beings from a young age.
而且怪事突
And
然
now
一
all
股脑
these
的挤
strange
在我面
events have
前，
suddenly converged in front of me, and there's a lot I can't wrap my head around.
是吗？
Really? To me,
在
the
我
world is
看来，
supposed to
世
be
界
like
就应
this.
该是
It
这
wouldn't
样的。
function properly
虽
if
然
any
每
piece
块
were
都运
missing.
转不了，不
But
过
not
像
many
我
are
们
like
姐
my
弟
brother
俩
and
这
me, you
样的
know.
也不多。
You're quite remarkable.
以
Just a
前
few
倒是
hours
很
in your
了不
first
起。
encounter with a
几
supernatural
个小
being,
时
and you were
前，第一
targeted
次
but
碰到超
survived
自
without
然生
losing
物
any
就是被
limbs.
钉上性命，还被
Well,
断手断脚的救活了下来。
I wouldn't say she didn't.
而且
And to
还养
think
了一
you've
只很
adopted such a
可
cute
爱
one.
的。
Could it be that you're
我
not
们
human
以前
either?
不是人。
Jasper burst into laughter, playfully scratching Pallion's
他
chin.
好像很清
She
楚我
seems
碰
well
上
aware
昆
of
木
my
怪物的情
encounter with
况
the。deadwood creature,
me
but
keep
it
on
hasn't
listening to
mentioned
Jennifer
what
Johnson.
happened before I woke up.
别想这么
Don't
多啦。
overthink it. We'll
见到
definitely
老
get
板
help
之
after
后，
meeting the
一定会
boss.
得到帮
Since
助
our
的。
names both contain the
最
same
后我俩
character, the
的名
boss
字
will
里有一
surely
个
be
字
nice
相
to
同
you.
的。
你这种想法倒
Sounds
是像
rather
哪？
naive. Jasper shook her head playfully, thinking to herself that she was indeed still a child. How long is this demo?
你眼灾。
Yeah. I want to eat dinner. I gotta watch Peacemaker with my dad tonight. I thought this wouldn't be more than like an hour. Or at least we're already at an hour 20, and the last one was like an hour and a half, so I'm hoping it won't go
Oh.
too much longer. The sign for West Flowing Pawn Shop was painted in golden letters, a typical choice for shops that often include auspicious words like yin or yang. Or is it? I don't know. Yet Liu couldn't find any special significance in the name West Flowing. The shop's red brick facade, dusty and marked by time, contrasted with the newer deep blue signboard that boldly declared 20 Park Street. The shop looked like an ordinary pawn shop, seemingly unconnected to anything supernatural.
就是这儿了吧？
It's the
没
place
想到就
surprising
竟
to
开在大
find
路
it on the
边。
main road.
人类以外的客
Non-human
人会
visitors
从
usually
另一
enter
走
from the
廊。
back. Pallion looks
小
human
白
enough,
挺
so you
像
can
人
use this
的。
entrance. It's also
以
easier
后
for
你带他
parking.
来，小白。
Pallion,
走
I'm
啦
off. I'll come visit you
下次
again
再带你玩。
soon. Jasper held Pallion tightly in the rearview mirror, clinging to him for a long while before she reluctantly got out of the car and quickly rocked around to Liu's window.
绿森，你自己小心
Liu
点啊。
Zhang,
真
take
的
care of
会有
yourself.
很多东西钉上你手心里的
There are
心
many
思
things
呢。
out there that might covert the numbers in your palm.
嗯，
Thanks.
谢谢你。
Liu reached out and affectionately pinched Jasper's chubby cheek. Despite everything, she trusted that Jasper truly wanted to help her.
姐姐，
Sister. Oh god, emo ass kid. Sister.
我回来了。
I'm back, Cinnabar. Any customers? Liu found herself at a loss to guess Jasper's brother's name.
丹户，你好，
Cinnabar?
我是
Hello,
李
I'm Liu.
我知道你是
I
谁
know who you are.
看你也没
Seeing
打
that
算
you
打
aren't getting out of your
是不
car,
相信
you
我们
must
吧
not trust us, right? I don't like this kid.
那就赶紧
You
把车
should
开
drive
走
away. Didn't
没
you
看到有
notice
辆车
another
过来
car
吗
coming? Bitch? Cinnabar, don't be so rude.
没关系。
It's
他
okay.
是嫉
He's
妒我
probably
跟他
just
姐
jealous
姐
because
关系
I'm
这么好
close
吧
with his sister. Cinnabar gave Liu a skeptical look, but as he mentioned, a luxury car was indeed pulling up and coming to a stop ahead. The driver quickly unbuckled his seatbelt, and a high school-aged girl emerged from the back seat, spoke briefly with the driver, then headed towards West Flowing Pawn Shop. The luxury car carefully backed up, easing Liu's worry about the narrow road potentially causing a scrape. Oh,
苏大小姐
Miss
来
Sue
了。
is here.
待会儿
Cinnabar,
带她
could
进
you
去吧。
show her inside? Liu glanced around, curious to see what sort of person frequented this place. However, as soon as her gaze shifted, she caught the attention of one of the patrons.
看什么看？
What are you staring at? This is a cool fit, actually.
Mhm.
Liu quickly turned away, and this reaction caused Jasper to giggle and cover her mouth with her hand.
好了好了，
Alright, alright, I
做
won't
生意
keep
了
you from your business.
旅行
Okay,
拜拜
Liu, goodbye, and remember to come back. Still going. At the front door of Byway's private clinic bore a sign announcing it was closed for the day. After the chaos of the night, a temporary closure was inevitable. But it seems it will reopen tomorrow. Just need to seal off and renovate the areas damaged by that deadwood creature. The rest of the clinic can operate normally.
老白，
Elder Bai?
Voice is going through.
I know, I'm losing it. I'm not used to talking non-stop for like an hour straight. Like I can yap, but in a conversation. I'm rusty, I need to stream more.
你可算来了，
You made it.
感觉
How are
身
you
体怎么样？
feeling?
没什么问题。
I'm fine. And someone who knows about that
刚才
creature
就有
already
那怪物的
approached
人
me.
找上
However, I'd rather start
不过
with sources I can trust. After watching Palion devour its meal, Liu momentarily panicked but quickly composed herself. The appearance of a mysterious black hole in her palm, followed by a sudden arrival of a white creature that seemed to rescue her, could not be a coincidence. She then collaborated with Byway to facilitate what would be the tensest blood draw of his
那
career.
说正事吧。
Let's talk business now.
白色
The
怪物
blood
的血
results
液
for the
冒
white
出来
creature are in. Liu received the report Byway handed her, searching for entries she could
我这
understand.
里只有常规的血
I
液
only
检测，
conducted standard
所以
blood
查
tests,
不
so
出
I
什么
couldn't
特
find
别。
anything unusual.
看
There
起
appears to be
来有类
components
似红
similar
细
to
胞、
human
白
red
细
and
胞的
white
成
blood
分在，
cells, such as
像是血小板
platelet
体积、
volume and
淋巴细胞比率这些栏位
lymphocyte
也有数据，
ratios. These
还不至
metrics
于
are
连血液
present, so
成
we're
分都
not
测不出
completely
来。
unable to identify blood components.
但除此之外的东
However, I
西就
couldn't
查不
conduct
到
more
了。
detailed
最关键
analysis
的
like
DNA
DNA
我
sequencing
这
with the
里做不
equipment
了。
I have.
跟我
Right,
想的
I
差不
figured
多，
as much. It wouldn't be
没那
that
么简
simple
单
to
就能搞
figure
清
out.
楚。
是啊，
Yes,
即
and
便
that's
如
why I
此，
wanted to see
我
you.
还特意叫
I
你
have a
过来。
place to
就是
recommend.
2个月
A
前，
couple of months ago, a
鹿城大学
biological
来了个生
research
物研
team
究
from
小组，
Egret City
在奇遇搞了个
University
实验室，
established a
你可以去
laboratory
那
on
里试
Piano
试。
Island. Piano Island? Just a giant island that's literally just a giant piano. Imagine. Might be
Right.
worth checking out. Hmm?
You know, I wouldn't doubt it with what we've been seeing on TV.
They think supernatural creatures are weird, but a giant piano island is completely normal. Liu quickly picked up on the subtext in Byway's words.
老白，你的
Elder
意思
Bai,
是
are you implying... Wait, what? Byway nodded, affirming Liu's suspicion. She wasn't investigating the blood of an ordinary creature. Yeah, no shit. Have you looked at the thing?
What are they
他
on
们小
about?
组做的
Their
可
work
能
might
不是
extend
常规的
beyond
生物研
conventional
究。
biological studies.
你之前去
You
出
were
任
out
务
on a
了，
mission, so you
估
probably
计
haven't
还不
heard.
知道。
2 months ago, a
2个月
sperm
前
whale was stranded
有
near
涂抹香精搁浅在白城沙滩
Baichen
附近，
Beach. Liu had already heard a bit about the situation, so she nodded, signaling Byway to
你
continue.
应该知
You know,
道。
after I opened
我
my
开了诊
clinic,
所之
Egret
后
City
被鹿
University
城大学
appointed
聘
me
为
as an
荣誉教
honorary
授，
professor. I
有时
sometimes
候会去
lecture
讲
there.
课。
At a
之
university
前
function, I
参
learned
加
that the
了校
standard
方办
sperm
的
whale
酒
is
局，
part of a research project
在
they
那
have been
听他们
tracking for a
说，
long time.
那天深夜，抹
Shortly
香
after
精
the
搁浅
whale
在白
beached
城沙
itself
滩
on
之后，
Baicheng
没过
Beach
多
light
久
one
便
night,
确
it was
认死
declared
亡。
dead and its
他们
body
也
was
立刻把
quickly
尸体拖
removed. Liu Shan began to suspect there was more to Byway's story as he spoke.
酒喝多之
People
后，
tend to
你
exaggerate
懂
when
的。
they've had a few drinks. I
总
heard
有
someone
人
say
忍
the
不
whale
住
was
要吹牛说大
peculiar.
话。
Supposedly
有
it
人
had
说
just one
那
eye
条鲸
and
鱼很
no
特别，
skeleton.
什么只有一颗眼睛，没有。实际上，
In fact,
那
the
个跟
research
踪
team
抹香
tracking the
鲸的
whale
研究
disbanded
小
after
组
the
在鲸
stranding.
鱼搁浅之
Later, a
后
new
就
team
解
took over
散
the
了。
project. They're the ones
之
who
后
built
不
the
知
lab
道
I
从哪
mentioned.
说是专门
They even
清除
set
一
up a
栋楼，
dedicated
还
building
购
and
置了很
invested
多
in
新
lots
设
of new
备。
equipment. Whatever the
不管具体
details,
是
they
什
have
么
more
情况，
advanced biological
他们那儿有
research
更先
equipment,
进的
and I
生物
can
研究
use
设
my
备
position
是
as
肯定的。
Egret City
我
University
也能以
professor
鹿城
to
大学
arrange
教
a
授的
visit
名
for
义
you.
让你去参观。我帮你给那个怪物抽
Let me
贫
draw
血，
some blood from
带
that
去那里
creature
做做
first,
检
and you
测
can
吧。
have it tested there.
只是这白
But
色血
given
液
its
看
white
着就
blood,
非
it's
常
quite
明
unusual.
对
What
方问
will
起
you say if they ask about
没
it?
关系，
Don't worry, I'll
我
tell
就
them
说
it's
是
the
你
sample
给我
you
的
gave
血
me.
样
If they have any questions,
让
they
他们
can
找别的
ask
老师
Professor
说。
Byway.
你真
You
是
really are. Alright, just be
行吧。
safe.
不
Sure,
过
but Liu Shan crossed her arms and asked teasingly,
老白，
Elder Bai,
你
you
知道
know,
我给
I've
小怪
given
物
the
取了
creature
个
a
名字
name,
吧？
right? Why not use
干
that
嘛不
name
用那
instead
个
of
名字称
calling
呼
it
它？
the
一
creature?
直说白
Sounds
色
so
怪物听
awkward.
起来很
Bai Wu, while writing a letter of introduction, shook his head.
你叫我老
You call me
白，
Elder Bai,
然后
and
那
that
东西
creature's
叫
named
做小
Palion.
白，
It's almost as if we're
岂不是
supposed
搞
to
得
be
像
part of
我
the
生的？
same superhero
这
team,
才
which
叫
is a
别
bit
扭。
odd, don't you think? Well, she's Batman. I thought this was like established. finished. Really? I think it's quite
我觉得
cute.
叫起来很可爱。
你们小女
Don't
生的
impose
喜
your
好就
taste
别
and
套给
names
我了。
on me. After handing the letter of introduction to Liu, Baiwei offered some final advice on how to care for the wounded and watched her leave the clinic. Liu Shang returned to her car, her mind filled with potential destinations, but unsure where to go
想
first.
去请
Before
你
running to
的话，
Piano Island, I need to
要
take
先把小
Pallion
孩子
home,
给
and I
家
should arrange to have the blood sample
还有
delivered
这个
first,
快递
otherwise
把
there might
血
be a
袋是
problem
怎么
with
回事？
security. Suddenly her phone vibrated in her pocket, snapping her out of her thoughts. Liu Shan, Jasper gave me your phone number. She said you can help me solve the problem. What? I will pay. I can help you investigate the black hole on your hand. Who are you? I'm Su Lingxi. Send me a photo of you if you want to help me. After reading the message, Liu had a good idea who Su Lingxi was. She realized that Jasper's intention for taking her to the store was to meet her. Without much hesitation, she activated her phone's front camera. She lifted her chin to make her face look smaller, slightly tilted her head to get the right angle, and pressed the shutter button. She's gotta have a
Okay.
good selfie. At that moment, Pallion looked up, also getting captured in the photo. Can I look at it? I want to see it. Okay, go to Golden Cam building when you're ready. That shiny building on the Hushin district, you know? Yeah. Text me after arrival. Right. She's not a big texter.
Not a textbook.
苏大小
Miss
姐，
Sue, right? We're gonna end here. When something new is unlocked or updated in your phone, a prompt will pop up here. Click on the next
Doesn't seem like it.
Jesus. Strangers and strange things. How much unlocked? There's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different things I could go check out.
You might have to continue later, man.
Yeah. What? This demo's long as hell. Okay. Yeah, actually I want to keep that just in case I need to go back and change my mind on that coin. God damn. Okay, I'm hungry. So, stream's ending here. We'll continue this later, and if this ends up only taking like 5 minutes, then I got like 2 more demos to check out. One of them wouldn't work, so I deleted it. Alright. Thank you all so much for coming, and I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye!